Hello, Aries. This is your astrology for the month of October 2025. And I'm your astrologer, Lori Lothian. We're going to break it down week by week, but it is a big deal month. We have a full moon in your sign early in October. And at the end of the month, Mars in his home kingdom is going to really set up some stories for you at the last part of the month. One thing about Mars in Scorpio is he's the Lord of your sign. And when he's in his own kingdom, his own dignity, he's doing you favors. And so we're going to talk about some of the changes in home, work, betterment of health, perhaps, and things to do as well with relationship status that could be undergoing significant renovation in the month ahead. So let's talk about it in a detailed way. We're going to break it down, as I said, week by week. But if you're new here, I want to tell you a little bit about what I want to share with you before I give you the forecast. My Sky Reader class begins on September 27th. By the time many of you see this, you would have missed the enrollment window. But just in case, please look below in the description box to see if you still have time to sign up for my 6-week live class. I will only teach this once every year, usually in the fall. Number 2, my dear friend and colleague, Renn Butler, author of my favorite book, The Archetypal Universe, is teaching his class in October. It runs for 6 months. It's amazing what you learn about yourself in archetypal astrology. It's one of the deep dives into the archetypal parts of the sky. Lots of focus on Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune and understanding them as well. And I loved that class that I took several years ago with him. I'm always encouraging people who are deeply interested in the more mystical, the more archetypal and psychological and soulful side of astrology to head his way. And his class is beginning October the 14th, and there's a special rate just for me. And so if you tell him you're coming, it'll be a lower rate than the public gets. You just have to let him know that I sent you. And I love helping my fellow astrologers in this world do well, and he's one of my favorites. So go ahead and check out his course description and a link in the description box below. So everybody, and even though I think he starts October 4th, he'll probably extend a late enrollment for at least a week later because he did that last year. All right, so I'm an Aries like you. My sun is here, 14 degrees of Aries. My moon is here, around 8 degrees of Aries. So I totally get the vibe of being one of us. And if you're listening today for your sun sign, it's like your soul, the deepest essence of you, pertinent often to career matters and purpose matters. The moon is your emotional field and your mind-body complex, but it also is indicative of things to do with your home, like the eclipse to the moon in March of this year behind us. I got my moon eclipse and I changed my home into this apartment that I'm in now. And so eclipses can do moon activities, but any activity around your moon is going to change your home. If you're listening for your moon sign, then kind of think about your domicile and where you live. And if you're listening for your rising sign, it's your avatar simulation game player. It's everything about you in this simulation. Our time together here is 25 to 35 minutes usually. So settle in, take some notes, get a pen, get a paper. We're taking it on the chronological so that we can look forward to each week at a time. And if you haven't liked and subscribed by this time in my channel, please do so. It really helps the algorithm. It helps my channel grow. And I would appreciate that very, very much. And you want to find out more about me, check my description box below. Okay, so guys, this is the sky, as you can see, and we're beginning as if the ascendant is in the sign of Aries. But if you're listening for your sun, we pretend the sun is in Aries in the first house. Moon, we pretend the moon is in Aries in the first house. We rotate the dial. And that kind of astrology is quite useful, right? Turning the wheel or derived houses. So the first thing I need to say for us, the first week of October, it's quiet. It's not a big deal. Take a chill pill. As we enter into October 1st, Mercury, the newsman, is squaring Jupiter. It lasts a day before, the day of, and the next day, up until the 2nd. And that can indicate information or news. Squaring Jupiter, opportunity. Good news here is Jupiter is in good shape, and therefore there could be a surprising opportunity. And the reason I say surprise, in a general way, Uranus is trining Mercury. So there could be an unexpected opportunity that requires immediate action and immediate decisions to do with where you live, legal contracts regarding where you live, and also relationship situations and the home. And one thing I say, with Venus and the South Node together in the house of rental properties, there's a possibility of making some changes in your life by renting your home out or renting a new property to live in, that kind of thing. So there's a kind of an action decision-making window of time. And certainly I think with Mars flowing to Jupiter too, could indicate needing to finance a change of home things like that could be in effect here for sure. Now, the other thing I want to pay attention to is the full moon. It'll be in our sky October the 6th at 14 degrees of Aries, just right on my sun. If you have your Aries sun, moon, or rising anywhere near 14, let's say 5 degrees before and after, you're definitely feeling this fulfillment energy, fullness, something coming to a completion in your life. And if it's your Aries sun, it could be a completion of a career matter, and moon about your home life. And if it's an Aries rising, any area of your life becoming to fulfillment or completion and a harvesting, ripening. And it's coming off of the March 29th new moon in Aries that happened earlier this spring. So you may have planted a seed in the springtime, and now it's coming to a completion or fulfillment. And so there's something about that just always feels good. We like to check off the to-do list, don't we, Aries, and say, done, finito, complete. One thing about the 14th degree storyline is you'll notice that as this is going to occur right here, we're still going to have Neptune in Aries. And so it could be the fulfillment of a cherished dream, some kind of cherished vision or imaginal ambition that you've been percolating since Neptune has been in Aries since the spring. Now, one more thing about the lunation itself. As this moon, let's move ourselves forward so you can take a look at the moon with me, and it'll be on the 6th of the month of October. Okay. One thing about this moon right here across from the sun, right? It's on the I-thou axis, self and other. Go back to the new moon that happened in Aries. It may have been about relationship matters because you're looking at new beginnings vis-a-vis significant long-term love, relationships, or fresh starts or rearranging something. And this could be the grand finale of that process. So consider that it may involve another person in your life as well, some business partner, some client relationship, or a long-term partnership of some sort. If you're single, I guess you could date somebody during this time as well. New fulfillment of a desire for a partner. And because Venus is in a dating house, the 6th house with the South Node, you could start dating and it would turn out to be sort of a soulmate vibe, And with Venus in a sextile to Jupiter, why the hell not? We all love a little soulmate love at some point in our lives, deeply karmatic, deeply beautiful. As we head into October the 8th, so we're going to go 7th, 8th, 9th. You're going to notice a few beautiful things emerging. So now we're on the second week. You'll see that Mercury will square Pluto, but Venus will sextile Jupiter. Back to the dating story. Dating somebody, a wealthy, generous, prosperous, close to home, in the local environment, connected to your childhood, homeland, territory around where you grew up, or just the idea of abundant, joyful prosperity, dating, past life soulmate energy. If you're looking for love, it could look like that. I'm going to just say it could look like that in this beautiful wedge formation. And second of all, if you want to be prosperous, plentiful, and abundant in and from the home through the work you're doing in the world, through the livelihood and the job, then this is a very luscious energy. And third thing is, if you want to get a pet, 2 thumbs up, but Venus is fallen in Virgo, detail oriented but fallen, so you might have a problem getting that pet. There might be issues, there might be delays, there might be financial problems regarding the price of the pet and the breeder, maybe issues with your lease and not being able to bring a pet in. Venus here is in the house of rental agreements connected to serfdom, right? So you could be the landlord, you could be the leaseholder, and there is something going on that's positive. Jupiter's got more strength, but it's also a little nitpicky. Look at the devil is in the details about fine print and rentals and leases, but it could be an auspicious and positive opportunity for a rental property change of some sort. And I would go with that. If you're renting a house out or renting your own property or renting a getaway for a trip, even that could work for you as well. But Mercury and Pluto in a square is very difficult energy, to say the least. Now, Mercury can be about exposing to you with information, emails, or phone calls, something that was hidden from your view that you couldn't really see in that square to Pluto. And this could be a secret as well, because Mercury is in the house of secrets. And with Mars, your Lord here, he's digging up the dirt. He's finding it out. He's making sure, he's got a backhoe in there, and he's going to dig up the dirt of secrets that you need to know, that he's working on your behalf. But in the square to Pluto, it might be about a sibling one older than you, It might be about one of your social network groups and friends, right? You thought was one of your allies or benefactors or friends, and Mercury's digging under the surface. Pluto is the thing that's hidden. There's some kind of not so great feeling about, October 7th, 8th, even into the 9th when this is happening. I just don't know what it is exactly. You'll find out because it'll happen. You've got protection from Lord Jupiter flowing to this even as it happens, but it could be family of origin and childhood secrets as well. Things you didn't know about growing up or your parents. I was just listening to a podcast about a really good podcast. It was really fun to watch about a guy whose dad was a sperm donor, and he met all his sperm donor siblings and half siblings. It was really a fun podcast, but I wouldn't put it past you finding out something as dramatic as that under this Pluto energy. Pluto is out of bounds, and he'll deliver really wild and radical uncoverings for you here. Wow, profitability and gains from your career belong here, where Pluto is riching you up. On the other hand, Mercury might have some unexpected news or information that is also relevant to the way you make money, and maybe tax structures, for example, or maybe matters connected to financing, banking, mortgages and loans, or wealth management. And it doesn't always have to be bad, right? The square could mean you need to take action, get a wealth management person, pay off your credit cards, renegotiate property or loans or something like that, but also connected to the gains of one's career. Moving on, October the 8th, sorry, I did 8th and 9th. October the 11th, we're in the week, second week. As we move forward, Venus becomes very entangled in a difficult relationship with Saturn. You can see her building it up here already on October the 8th. By we get to the 11th. What's going on here on the 10th, 11th, and 12th of October? It looks to me like she's having to deal with something that's contracting, repressing, containing, and difficult regarding love. Now, anytime you see love, Venus with Saturn, we say things like love is hard, love is enduring, love is a long game, love is a marathon, that kind of thing. So that could be some love relationship strain at this time for you. The houses can also indicate challenges with addictions and health matters and letting go of an addiction. It can also indicate challenges, quite possibly in this kind of sky, with the job environment itself, and some kind of structural changes in the work or job that are not easy. Saturn is the ruler of your career house, you see. And so room deals and negotiations, sure, the 12th house, but solitude and aloneness. And maybe there's something going on where you're ready to dump the work or something. Venus says dump, let go, release something about the work you do. Not everything has to be let go of, but something about it might be time to release it. And Saturn's kind of putting you into a mindset of, I want my solitude. I want my aloneness. I want my contemplative time. And so you might be just going through a bit of a work crisis of some sort as well. But it could also be a relationship tension as well. And then we move onward into about the same time period, but a little bit further out, the 13th to about the 15th, in that window of time. Watch Venus as she crosses over, leaving Virgo, the place of her fall. Because Venus is not comfortable here and she's not in great shape, and we're glad that she's leaving. She's been here you might have been working too hard. You might have been unable to get healthy. You might have been finding pleasure instead of joy. You might have been unable to get your act together with health and addictions and difficulties there, the 12th house. Finally, she says, I've given up this ghost here and I'm moving across the Libra border on the 13th. As soon as she crosses into her home kingdom, she's strong, and she's opposite Neptune, the god of illusion and delusion and things that are not real but seem real. And look at this kite that she's forming. We'll be doing a whole video on that on my YouTube channel in much more depth. But she wants to have you lift up and lift off with your audience, your marketplace, your clients, your customers, your business partners, and most obviously your romantic love story, your partnership in romantic love. And with the sun still here, who rules your house of romance, there is a strong possibility that this is opening a doorway for you to a new romantic engagement if you are unpartnered If you're partnered, it could be very rejuvenating energy for the relationship you're in, as you have no more rose-colored glasses. The tide is pulled back. You're very sober-minded about relationship. And by October 22nd, by the way, Neptune crosses into your 12th house. But at this point, I'd say looking for new relationships to blossom in your life or existing ones to bloom better. And we love this mini capstone here, talking about transgenerational potency and power. You could meet a relationship partner because you're traveling, because you're in a learning or teaching environment, because friends introduced you to somebody, because you meet somebody in a large social gathering event. All of those are possibilities for new relationships coming your way. If you start a new relationship under this, I like the sky. All right. It's positive. It looks good. If you're with someone already, it could just be a nice glow up in your relationship, bringing a more dreamy, spiritual, and mystical quality to the union with your person. Now, we're going to be talking about all of this in more detail on my channel. Stay tuned for that. That's the asteroid Achilles. We don't need to talk about him yet. One of the other things I would mention is if you have a partner and Venus is in your 7th house, you're going to do well. And she'll be in your 7th house, not just for a short time, bless her soul. She'll be there from October 13th to November 6th. That could really give your partner in love some significant success in their world, in their own gains in their career, in their marketing, selling, communicating, or online business. So it blesses the partner that you have. Every year you get Venus here for about 2 to 3 weeks, blessing your relationship person. They're getting collateral benefits off of your chart. This is how astrology works. Go with it. Say yes. Oh, yeah. I say yes. Fertility, I forgot to say. Sun rules your house of baby making and creativity, but fertility, Venus is the fertility goddess. Uranus is shock and awe. Some of you may be unexpectedly discovering you or your partner are pregnant during this window of time. So again, it's really a short-lived sort of cycle of energy here where a pregnancy could happen or unexpectedly or be revealed to have happened unexpectedly. Again, window of time, October 13th to about the 15th. Now we're moving into the 3rd week soon. Let me think 7th to the 14th. Yes, the 14th to the 21st, the 3rd week of the month. So first thing I'd say is take a look. Let's all look together. Let's all watch the story together. At what we're going to see happen when the sun is squaring Jupiter. Jupiter gets a lot of square action this month. We start with Mercury squaring the poor guy. He's very strong. And now the sun here will come into a square to Jupiter. There are some times that you can connect dots. You might be able to say, whoa, October 1st, 2nd, Mercury squared Jupiter. Now it's here, the sun, follow-up act, second part, act 2 of the same story. Libra is contractual agreements, legal agreements, signing undocumented legal agreements to do with land, home, property, and real estate. That's what Mercury was suggesting October 1st and 2nd as another story. It's back again. The sun also is importantly the ruler of the house of children. So there might be something going on where one of your children is getting ready to move, sign a new lease, sign a contract for their home, something like that as well. It may not be your story. All right. It's not a big deal. It's last a day. It's flying by quickly. The only thing I want to say is the opposition to Chiron, who's traveling with asteroid Child, definitely takes me back to something going on with one of your children. There's going to be a demand or action for them regarding property, legal agreements, home, and you might have a child wound, like a wound with one of your children, if you have children. And this is something really intense going on that you're supporting them or seeing it happen in their lives around that time frame of October 17th, basically, but a day before and a day after. On October the 19th, Mercury will crash right into Mars, Mercury-Mars. Mercury's job is to inform us of things, news and information, ideas as well. And this is a money house. Now, Mars and Mercury together can be very commercially active, very, commercially successful energy for sure. A conjunction is they're becoming one with each other in a house of chunky money, income from royalty checks, ad revenue, investment monies, inheritance monies. Now, some of you with Jupiter here with you or your partner's family, right? Doesn't have to be your family, your partner's family may come into some money, particularly because the 8th house is the the money that belongs to a significant partner. So maybe your significant other is coming into some legacy wealth from their family of origin. That would look like a possibility at this time. Another thing around October the 19th, a day or two before and after, is again, we're talking about secrets uncovered from childhood, but they're welcome. You're so happy to find out what happened. You want to know the truth. Jupiter is the god of truth in the house of childhood. This is excavation and divulging of secrets from the family of origin. And you'll notice here that there is a flow to Saturn, the elder in the house of hospitals. Again, in your own family, maybe there's an elder in a hospital setting with, the proverbial deathbed confessions about what really happened in your growing up years. Could be a grandparent, doesn't have to be an elderly parent, but I'm just giving you a heads up. The other thing I'd say about it, possibly, is some kind of loss of a pet, South Node sextile from Mars and Mercury. A pet has an accident, an injury, or just simply is going to pass. And Mercury rules that house of pets. You could relinquish a rental contract agreement, or you could be in the middle of negotiating a purchase of a new piece of real estate. Those are all possibilities on October the 19th, give or take a day or two on either side. October the 21st, a new moon will happen at 28 degrees of Libra. And Libra is in your house of significant love and long-term commitment. Single Aries are in a window of time in the 6 months that follows in which you might find yourself blossoming into new love. And for those of you who are already in a relationship and not looking for love, then October 21st can be about an increase of success in your current relationship or for your relationship partner. Give me a minute while I just track the hours back a bit so I don't keep moving us forward. I want you to show you the sky. And this is happening, by the way, at 28 degrees of Libra. So obviously an Aries sun, moon, and rising closer to 28 degrees will feel it much more intensely, right? Because it's activating your specific energy in your chart. So here we have it, the 20th, the 21st, you're feeling this new moon coming into being with Venus here, right? This is, again, a very strong fertility transit for those of you wanting to be pregnant or not, but that could also indicate some fertility. If you have audience, marketplace, clients, and public that you serve from your 10th house of career, or the 7th is 10th houses from the 10th, it represents your public, your audience for your work. And then this could be a really beautiful new fresh glow up. Venus brings popularity and public appeal. This is a new beginning and a fresh start. So it might feel very positive as an onset of something new. Look for clues around that, around the week after this new moon, but understand all new moons can unfold their wings over the course of 6 months. Let me think about this for the singletons just for a split second. If you are single and you are looking at this as a relationship start, the position of Venus relative to Uranus suggests it may come to you in a very radically unexpected way. And you could also find that travel or learning environments or even online dating apps becomes a venue for a exciting thunder, lightning, the way you love me is frightening, shock and awe new love story. So there's nothing subtle about this. It would be very fast moving and very exciting and very sizzling in its energy field, in my humble opinion. Not necessarily sexual energy either. With Neptune's position, it would feel like twin flames, mystical, romantic mysticism, all of that for you single Aries out there. All righty. And then, drum roll, please. We're moving into the third week of October. October the 24th, 25th, right? We have Sun squaring Pluto. Sun squaring Pluto. So there's the Sun, right? And the Sun's crossing over into Scorpio on October 23rd. We're in the last week of the month. And Pluto is watching that happen from Aquarius, where he is radically intense and out of bounds, looking for extraordinary freedom and taking liberty to do so. He's definitely unleashed, as my video said. There is something going on here about your chunks of money or about your occult mysteries. If you want a spiritual awakening, Pluto, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, that combination is like Wake Me Up Inside by Evanescence, wake me up inside, like boom, you're having an enlightenment episode of some sort, especially with Saturn and Neptune now in your 12th house. By the way, Neptune crossed that boundary on October 22nd, which means now he's lending a hand to Saturn and the North Node of Fate in increasing your spiritual awareness and awakening, but also possibly increasing with stable, lasting results. Money you make from borderless income, digital revenue, and far off foreign lands, people, and places. He's now bringing it into more intense focus through till next February. But back to this story. You've got a Scorpio pileup. Good news is Mars is the Lord of your sign and he's watching over you. Aries, if you want to go back in time with me, just time travel to November 17th, 2023, Mars joins the sun in a Cazimi here and hit a massive reset button for chunky money in your life. Some of you may go back now and look at that and say, wow, I started to make more royalty income, ad revenue, investment money. I got an inheritance. Something worked for you here, right? I incorporated and I made more money because I got to save the money. And also my ad revenue on YouTube increased. My chunky money did go up. And so that I'm bringing up because we're going to come into a new cycle. I'm going to be doing that for my year ahead videos with what Mars is resetting for you again. But this is not to be afraid of him here. Oh, it's a house of death, and everyone gets all anxious. He's forming a beautiful water trine, right? And so is the sun involved in it. This beautiful trine of flow between the moksha houses. So really wonderful spiritual awakening, wonderful for land, property purchases, financing, and real estate, wonderful for getting money from overseas, foreign lands, and foreign shores. So all the sun here does is amplify what Mars is up to. And Mars is in your Scorpio chunky money house all the way through until October the 29th. Okay. And then he'll move. Sorry, that's not right. All the way through until November the 3rd. So you've got a lot of potency in this part of the chart for that, all those energies I've just described. And when the sun is here, it just amplifies what Mars is up to and gives it more light and more fuel for the story that's trying to be created at this time. Hope that makes sense to you. And all of this can still include secrets being revealed, right? Because of Mercury still here at this time. All righty. And then as we continue the month forward, I'm going to bring your attention to, hang on while I get my things from blowing in the wind here. The trine that Mercury is making to Jupiter and Saturn just by his very own self. I already called it out, but let's take a peek at that. This is going to really be flooding the sky waves, right, after October 23rd. And Mercury kind of really does the job. He's a faster moving trigger planet, we would call him. So there we are on the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, 7th, 26th, 27th. So Mercury and Mars keep activating this beautiful triangle, and it's just such a beautiful flow. Mercury could be some really good commercial success about money and finance and home and legacy wealth and inheritances, but you might or your partner's family bringing money to the table, but you might also be really getting ready. Mars is like a cleanup guy here to kind of exit something that has to do with shared resources. Like maybe you no longer want to be in a marriage and you're going to get out of it by, getting a shared asset division going. Or maybe you want to separate from your money from a place where you've put it before. It's time for something new. There's a lot going on in that house. It's like, I need to look at your chart to tell you exactly what that could be like, but it's flowing and it's positive and I'm not afraid of it. So you probably shouldn't be either, since I'm one of you. And the last thing I'm going to say, Mars and Jupiter as its own story, forget about Mercury for a minute. That is extreme, powerful action that's prosperous, action that's fortunate, decisions that are prosperous, decisions that are fortunate, really connecting to property, land, home, real estate, or legacy wealth. That's the ongoing thing. And this is a wonderful end of the month for you as Mars is powering up some significant positive developments for you on behalf of you in your sky. Now, keep your eye on Mercury as we close this month out. Mercury will land in Sagittarius. He's going to be there for quite a bit of time and backtracking to Scorpio due to retrogradation. We will cover that when we get there, but he's going to be here until the 19th of November, going direct for a few degrees and retrograding. There's something I want to say about it is that Mercury in your 9th house is your mental capacity on steroids because it flows to the Aries kingdom. And so ideas, communication strategies, travel, foreign land travel opportunities, visas and passports, good mind, good ideas, good communication, positive things going on for you during his transit up here. But as he enters into Sagittarius, the first thing he does is say shocking, surprising news, because he's opposite Uranus. Some information, some surprising news is coming your way, positively flowing to you. So you shouldn't be scared of it. It flows to the Aries sky. Second thing I'd say about it is going to be involving Saturn and Neptune and the North Node in the house of foreign people, foreign lands, and foreign shores. So there could be some travel opportunity that comes out of the blue, connected to foreign places and shores, and it's quite exciting, quite delightful, perhaps. If you're looking for love, it could come out of the bolt out of the blue as he approaches Juno, the goddess of committed love. And Venus is still in your 7th house. And to really pull it forward a bit, I think he turns around before he meets Juno. So it's not quite there yet, but you could end up meeting somebody that later on could become a major life story, love story connection through travel, educational settings, through spiritual community settings, through foreign lands and distant shore settings. For those of you looking for a relationship. Otherwise, you could be traveling and with you didn't expect to travel, unexpected travel opportunities can really show up for you as you come into the last 2 or 3 days of the month, the 29th to November 1st, and a little bit onward, as Mercury here continues to say, I'm the patron of travelers on the house of foreign shores. Mercury doesn't expect to travel. There's a shock and awe surprise, but you are traveling. Lastly, a sibling one younger and a sibling two older than you may be delivering some surprising news your way. And you may discover you're going to be a grandparent if that's a possibility. For the house of grandchildren is where Mercury is traveling as well. And here comes the news that you are going to be a granddad or a grandmom. That could happen for some Aries as well. Don't forget, if you like this kind of all signs content, breaking it down week by week, I put this out every single month, an individual video for your sign. If you don't mind liking and subscribing, it does help my channel grow. And I'd so appreciate it. Come join me on Sky Reader, or that's only 6 weeks. It's a sort of a full immersion into ancient astrology to read your own sky and time your best life, be your own astrologer. But if you want to study a deep dive, maybe really learn more about the archetypal energy of the sky, I loved it. I figured out I was dreaming the sky when I was in Renn's class. Like my night dreams were literally the sky dreams. There's a lot of depth in that community. It's very spiritual, psychological. There's a psychedelic component to it. Not everyone's psychedelic in that one, but doing psychedelic energies as well. And Renn Butler is an amazing teacher. He makes learning easy. So go enjoy that if you're into it. Ciao, ciao. Don't forget to say I sent you, because then you're going to get a cheaper rate. Okay, bye-bye.